Cash out refinancing is a method to access the equity in your home. Today, we're going to talk about how this strategy can be applied to the investment scenarios we mentioned over the past week or so. But first, what is a cash out refinance? Cash out refinance is a mortgage option where you borrow more than you owe on your current loan and receive the excess funds in cash. It allows you to tap into your home's equity for various purposes by replacing your current mortgage with a new one. And we'll use the examples that we've been using over the past week or so with the 10 and 30 year time frame. Scenario one, if you remember, after 10 years, we have accumulated around $92,000 in equity. By refinancing, you can obtain a new loan based on the increased value of the property. And this captures that equity that you've gained over those 10 years. For example, our $200,000 property appreciated up to $244,000 after 10 years. The remaining loan balance was $152,000, which is where we get our $92,000 in equity. You could refinance and take out a new loan based on that new value of the $244,000. Typically, when you refinance, the loan to value has to be 80%. So when you do refinance, it pays off that original mortgage and puts a brand new one on there. So let's say you refinance with 80% loan to value. Your new loan will now be 80% of the new price of $244,000. Basically, what this means is your new loan will have a down payment or equity of 20%. That's what the 80% loan to value means. The remaining 20% must be in the property. So the new value is $244,000. This means that your new down payment or your equity must be 20% of that, which comes out to about $49,000, giving you a new loan balance around $195,000. And this is where the cash out part to the cash out refinance comes in. We have $92,000 in equity in our property, but only $49,000 of that is going towards the new loan or the new down payment, which means in this scenario, you've got about $43,000 left over after that $49,000 is applied from our $92,000. That's a lot of numbers. But really what this means is the leftover, the remaining $43,000 is yours to keep. And guess what? It's tax-free. So in a perfect world, if you did this for all 5 of your house hack properties, did a cash out refinance after each 10-year time frame, you can cash out about $43,000 per year for the next 5 years and keep $49,000 of equity in each of those properties. Tax-free check every 5 years for $43,000. So fun facts, those 5 purchases totaled $50,000 in down payments. If you refinance just one of those properties, you just got your initial down payment back on 4 of those properties. If you cash out refinance on all 5 of those properties, you still own all of them and collected around $215,000 over those 5 years, all from the cash out. That's a return on investment of 330%. This is just the $215,000 you physically pulled out. This is not including the full return on the equity that stayed in those properties. So by doing this and repeating this process over and over, buying more properties with this cash out money that you're receiving, your investment gave you a return, which then gives you a return, and it keeps going. After you've recouped your initial investment on these properties, the returns can seriously be infinite, and you still own the properties. Now, scenario 3, the 30-year investment, this is where it gets a little weird. So again, by now these properties are paid off and each are worth around $363,000. If you cash out refinance with 80% loan to value on each of these properties, the equity or the down payment needed will be around $73,000, meaning you could cash out around $290,000 per property for the next 5 years and continue to hold those as investment properties. Now, as you know, you can refinance a property with a current mortgage on it, but you may not know that you can actually still put a mortgage on a property you own free and clear. So keep that in mind if you decide to do this again. So some things to consider when deciding if you want to cash out refinance or not. Number 1, the value of your home. Remember, I'm keeping these numbers simple for explanation purposes. It's important you do your due diligence on the market prices and where they're at after each of these 10-year, 20-year, 30-year time frames, and what your home can appraise for once the bank goes out to appraise that property to get the value. Which leads me into number 2, your equity in your home. This method only works when you have the equity to do a refi or have enough equity to meet the 20% down or the 80% loan to value threshold. I've learned over the years, equity doesn't really mean anything unless you use it to buy, sell, or refinance. Number 3, current interest rates. While the numbers in these examples are amazing, again, do your due diligence on the market market rates. If you're looking for cash flow and the numbers don't make sense with a refi, maybe wait another year and build more equity. Or vice versa. Maybe rates are lower than your current rate in year 9. In that case, it might make more sense to do it sooner than year 10. And lastly, what to do with your cash out funds. I hate when people answer like this, but it ultimately depends on your goals. Are you retiring early? Are you reinvesting those funds into other investments? Or are you using those funds to go purchase a car, a boat, jet ski, motorcycle? It's totally up to you and your financial standing at that time. But you know me, I recommend turning around and reinvesting these into more properties to further catapult your wealth. Over the long term, if you do this, you can do all of the above later on while setting you and your family up for generations to come. So that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found any value in this, please like, subscribe, share this with your brother, and we'll see you guys next time.